A 70-ton block of granite seems impossible to tame. It originates inside a mountain, is detached with diamond wire, travels on reinforced trucks, and enters a factory where giant saws transform it into perfect, gleaming slabs ready to travel the world. The transformation of a granite slab begins long before a gleaming surface appears. It all starts in the quarry, facing a rock face that may seem solid and immobile, but which actually harbors internal fractures, veins, weak points, and color variations. Before cutting, technicians study the rock mass to determine which part of the mountain can be transformed into a commercially viable block. The first step is analyzing the stone. Inspection teams check the orientation of the veins, the continuity of the material, and the presence of natural fissures. In modern quarries, scanners, ultrasonic measurements, and mapping systems can be used to detect the internal integrity of the granite. The goal is to separate a massive piece without it breaking before it reaches the factory. Once the extraction area is chosen, engineers mark the perimeter of the block. Lines of industrial paint indicate the cutting plane, the drilling coordinates, and the direction in which the rock should be separated. It's not a matter of randomly striking the mountain. Every hole, every angle, and every movement is the result of a calculation. A small deviation can ruin a valuable stone. Then the pneumatic or hydraulic drills come into play. Their diamond-tipped bits penetrate the igneous rock with enormous pressure. During drilling, water is constantly injected to cool the tool, reduce dust, and expel the crushed rock debris. Slowly, a line of vertical and horizontal holes defines the outline of the block. Next comes one of the most important tools in the entire granite industry, the diamond wire. It's a high-strength steel cable covered with beads of industrial diamonds. This wire is inserted through pre-drilled holes to form a closed loop around the rock mass to be separated. When the machine is activated, the wire spins at high speed and begins to chip away at the rock. Diamond wire cutting may seem delicate, but it works with impressive force. The abrasive beads bite into the granite while water cools the friction. A white mixture of mineral powder and water oozes from the groove. This paste indicates that the stone is being opened from the inside. Meanwhile, hydraulic systems maintain the correct tension. If the wire becomes too loose, it loses its cutting ability. If it becomes too tight, it can break. For hours, the wire advances through the rock mass like an invisible line separating the stone from the mountain. Speed, pressure, and trajectory must remain constant so that the block emerges with clean faces. When the final section is complete, the piece is already separated, but it still stands upright, leaning against the rock face. To tilt it, workers insert high-pressure airbags or special wedges into the crack. As they inflate, they exert a controlled force that pushes the block outward. Gravity then begins to play a role. The monolith moves slowly, reaches its tipping point, and falls onto a prepared bed of sand, earth, and rock fragments. This cushion reduces the impact and prevents the tens of tons of stone from fracturing upon hitting the ground. Once on the ground, the experts inspect the surface. They look for cracks, changes in tone, defects, and natural lines that might affect the next cuts. If the block is too large for transport, secondary cuts are made using drills and metal wedges. These wedges are inserted into the holes and hammered until uniform tension is created. The rock splits along the marked line. The final block, now a manageable size for heavy machinery, is prepared to leave the quarry. Front-end loaders, gantry cranes, and steel chains surround the stone. Each link must withstand an extreme load. Before lifting it, the operators check anchors, support points, and stability. A sudden movement could destroy the piece or endanger the entire team. The crane lifts the block just a few centimeters to confirm that the weight is balanced. Then it slowly moves it toward a reinforced flatbed truck. The lowering is done with precision. The vehicle's suspension compresses under the mass of granite, and wooden beams distribute the pressure to avoid stress points. Steel cables immobilize the load. The journey to the factory is a complex logistical operation. On quarry roads, steep inclines, and sharp curves, the driver moves with extreme slowness. Each turn requires calculating the center of gravity, the slope of the terrain, and the trailer's response. The block, which until recently was part of a mountain, now travels as a high-value raw material. When it arrives at the processing plant, the granite still appears rough, dirty, and uneven. But within that opaque mass already exist the slabs that will later have a mirror-like shine. The factory simply has to reveal what geology has concealed for millions of years. Upon entering the plant, the block first passes through an electronic scale. Recording its exact weight allows for production control, yield calculation, and traceability of the stone. Each block receives a unique identifier. This code accompanies the granite throughout the entire process, from reception to final packaging. Next, a high-capacity gantry crane lifts the stone and places it in a preparation area. There, it is cleaned with high-pressure water jets to remove mud, dust, and quarry debris. When the surface is exposed, technicians can better observe the true color, vein orientation, and any cracks. In the most advanced factories, three-dimensional scanning systems map every contour of the block. The digital information allows for decisions on how to cut it with minimal waste. Granite is valuable, heavy, and expensive to transport. Every wasted centimeter represents lost money, energy, and time. Therefore, optimizing the cutting process is an essential part of the business. The block is then placed on a rail trolley that takes it to the sawing room. There you'll find one of the most impressive machines in the industry, the multi-blade saw. This equipment can have dozens of parallel steel blades precisely aligned to cut the block into many slabs simultaneously. Before starting, the granite is secured to the base. In some cases, supports, wedges, wood, industrial cement, or anchoring systems are used to prevent any movement. The stone must remain motionless for hours. If it moves, the slabs can come out crooked, crack, or become unusable. The multi-blade saw works differently than a regular blade. Its steel blades don't cut on their own like a knife. In many traditional systems, the actual cutting agent is a mixture of water and steel grit. This abrasive mixture is squeezed between the blades and the stone. As the frame moves back and forth, the grit wears away the granite micron by micron. The machine frame slowly descends. The blades begin to graze the surface of the block. The main motor transmits power to large flywheels that generate a constant, repetitive, almost hypnotic motion. At first glance, it looks like a mechanical dance. In reality, it's controlled industrial erosion. The water performs several functions simultaneously. It cools the friction, washes away stone dust, keeps the cutting groove open, and helps distribute the abrasive. Without constant cooling, the heat could damage the tools, deform the cut, and create hazards for the machine. The slurry that comes out of the process is a thick mixture of water, granite particles, and abrasive material. The cutting process can last more than 12 hours, depending on the hardness of the granite, the size of the block, and the desired thickness of the slabs. During this time, operators monitor digital screens that display pressure, descent speed, energy consumption, vibrations, and alignment. Precision is critical. A slight deviation at the top can become a much larger defect by the time the block reaches the bottom. Gradually, the block ceases to be a single mass. Inside, dozens of parallel planes appear. Each plane will become a slab. When the blades reach near the base, the cycle ends. The machine stops, the frame rises, and the water stops flowing. The result is a kind of stone book, many giant slabs, still visually connected by their weight and proximity. The steel trolley removes the cut block from the sawing area. Technicians insert wooden wedges between the slabs to prevent them from closing, colliding, or tipping over. Although granite is hard, a large slab can be vulnerable to bending. Its weight can become its greatest enemy if not handled correctly. A thorough washing then takes place. Jets of water remove the mud from the cut and reveal, for the first time, the stone's internal pattern. Veins, crystals, mineral stains, and colors that were hidden within the block appear. Each slab is different. Even if they come from the same monolith, no two have exactly the same pattern. Vacuum lifters are used to separate the slabs. These devices adhere to the surface using industrial suction cups and allow pieces weighing several tons to be lifted without drilling or damaging them. The slab is tilted, separated from the rest of the block, and placed on special conveyors or trestles. At this stage, the stone is still raw. It has cut marks, open pores, rough areas, and possible micro cracks. To become a luxury product, it needs reinforcement, drying, resin coating, curing, and polishing. Cutting has only created the basic shape. The final beauty appears in the next phase. Before treatment, the slab passes through a drying chamber. Moisture hinders the adhesion of resins, so the stone must be prepared to receive the epoxy. Technicians inspect cracks, cavities, and weak areas. Then, a high-strength resin is applied that penetrates pores and microfractures. On the back, many slabs receive a fiberglass mesh. This mesh acts as structural reinforcement, especially in stones with pronounced veining or delicate areas. The assembly enters a curing oven, where the heat hardens the epoxy and permanently bonds it to the stone. When it emerges, the slab is more stable, stronger, and ready to reveal its brilliance. The polishing line transforms a rough slab into a light-reflecting surface. This process is carried out with a series of abrasive heads, many of them impregnated with industrial diamonds. Each head has a different grit. The first ones remove excess resin and cutting marks. The next ones refine the texture. The last ones create the final finish. Polishing begins with coarse grits, such as 50 or 100. These abrasives level the surface and correct minor irregularities. The stone moves slowly under rotating heads while jets of water cool the friction and remove debris. The surface, initially dull and rough, begins to become uniform. Then come intermediate grits, such as 200, 400, and 800. Here, the granite begins to show its character. The veins become sharper, the crystals reflect light better, and the colors gain depth. The water running over the slab washes away fine dust, while the machine maintains constant pressure across the entire surface. With finer grains, such as 1500 and 3000 grit, the finish reaches another level. The texture becomes smooth, dense, and glossy. In some lines, special polishing compounds are applied to intensify the reflection. The granite, which in the quarry appeared as an opaque rock, transforms into a dark, light, mottled, or crystalline surface, depending on its natural composition. Then comes the gloss control. A digital meter checks the light reflection to confirm that the slab meets finishing standards. High-resolution cameras and inspection systems detect scratches, stains, open pores, or microcracks invisible to the naked eye. Each defect can determine whether the piece will be classified as premium, standard, or lower grade. Next, a sealant is applied. This product penetrates the pores and creates an invisible barrier against stains, moisture, and external agents. Automatic arms or felt pads distribute the sealant evenly. The slab is then dried and cleaned with compressed air until it is ready for final handling. But many slabs don't leave the factory as simple rectangular pieces. Some are transformed into countertops, cladding, stair treads, tables, or architectural panels. For this, they pass through bridge saws, CNC machines, and water-jet cutting systems. The bridge saw precisely trims the edges. Its diamond blades eliminate irregularities and create perfect squares. Then, if the customer requires special cuts, the slab enters a CNC station. There, digital measurements, plans, and templates are loaded. The cutting head follows the coordinates with precision to cut sinks, trim curves, create rounded corners, or produce custom pieces. The high-pressure water jet allows for complex cuts. Mixed with garnet sand, it can cut through granite with surprising accuracy. This method reduces stress on delicate cuts and allows for shapes that would be difficult with traditional saws. On complex edges and corners, skilled craftspeople complete the finishing by hand. Even though the factory is enormous and automated, human expertise remains crucial. Edge profiling defines the final style. A straight edge conveys modernity. A bevel adds sharper lines. A rounded edge softens the piece and reduces the risk of damage. Diamond discs of varying grits grind and polish the edge until it is flush with the main surface. Each finished slab undergoes a final inspection. The thickness is measured, the flatness is checked, the strength of the reinforcement is verified, and it is confirmed that the visual pattern matches the selected batch. In large projects, the slabs are grouped by tone and grain so that installers can create visual continuity across floors, walls, or extensive countertops. Traceability is also part of the process. Each piece can be labeled with a barcode, technical information, block origin, dimensions, finish, and intended use. High-definition photographs record the slab's pattern so the client can identify and compare it before installation. Then the packaging begins. The slabs are placed vertically on trestles or in wooden crates designed to withstand tons of weight. Soft spacers prevent scratches between polished surfaces. The structure is sealed with pneumatic tools, reinforced with steel strapping, and protected with shrink wrap. The stone must withstand vibrations, humidity changes, load shifting, and ocean voyages. In the logistics yard, high-capacity forklifts move the crates into trucks or containers. Weight distribution is critical. An unbalanced load can compromise transport. Beams, wedges, and fasteners are placed inside the containers to prevent the crates from shifting during transit. Once sealed, the container departs for the port. But the process doesn't end with shipping. Maintenance continues inside the factory. Saws are inspected, worn blades are replaced, hydraulic systems are calibrated, and sensors are updated. The accuracy of the next slab depends on the condition of every component. Abnormal vibration, a misaligned blade, or a faulty water pump can ruin tons of material. Sustainability is also playing an increasingly important role. Granite offcuts are collected and crushed for use as aggregates, engineered stone composites, or construction materials. Cutting slurry is processed in sedimentation and filtration systems. Recovered water is recirculated to the saws, reducing overall consumption. Solid particles can be compacted and reused in new products. Thus, the factory operates as a continuous cycle. The quarry delivers giant blocks. The plant cuts, reinforces, polishes, and grades them. Logistics ships them to construction sites around the world. Waste returns as secondary raw material. And each new shift begins with another mass of stone waiting to be transformed. A finished granite slab appears silent, motionless, and simple. Yet its surface embodies a chain of extraordinary operations. There was a mountain split open with diamond wire, a 70-ton block transported along treacherous roads, a multi-blade saw working for hours, heat-cured resins, diamond abrasives polishing layer upon layer, and digital controls searching for invisible flaws. The final result is a piece that preserves the Earth's geological history and, at the same time, showcases humanity's industrial capacity to master extreme materials. From raw rock to mirror-like brilliance, granite undergoes one of the most impressive transformations in the world of natural stone.